Hi everyone, welcome back to our State Cross-Border Connectivity event. This week we have invited someone from Slovakia. Her name is Maggie, and she will talk about how to deal with stress. In this kind of crisis like COVID-19 situations where we all have to stay home and have to careful about our physical touch with the society, stress can come from anywhere, like from your boss, from your job, and from your parents, from your society, and from your relationship. So the most important thing is how to overcome this kind of situation and that kind of like how to manage that kind of stress which can come from anywhere. So if you are, wondering about how to manage your stress, I think Maggie is here today to answer your questions due to her life experiences and, some knowledges. So if you are also interested in her country, like Slovakia things, you are also welcome to ask anything. So I would like to give the floor back to Maggie.
Okay, so I saw one comment that if you should call me Maggie with G and I and E or the other way around. I really don't care because Maggie is my nickname. It's much easier for people from also other countries and so on to call me Maggie because my whole name is and my birth name is Magdaléna with special accent on E. So it's kind of difficult for other nationalities not speaking Slovak or similar languages. So Maggie, whatever you want to call me, I don't really care. So feel free to choose whatever you like more. I don't know. Okay, so I prepared a small presentation about the stress and so on. So I will now share it. I think Imon, there is, I'm not allowed to share presentation. There is kind of problem with that. Can you?
I think I already clicked. It should be okay now.
Yeah, okay, thanks. Oh, so why I will search it. So I can start with a little introduction to what the stress is, and because if we want to know how to cope with it, we have to know what it is and how it's kind of how it is created or what is happening with our body and so on and so on. So stress is some kind of feeling when you feel when you encounter a stressful situation in your life, as Iman said at the beginning. It will start so-called fight or flight reaction. So it's something also like kind of we are born with it. So in small doses, when you have kind of like small stresses or something like that, it can be beneficial because it's kind of an alert for a body that you have to, for example, run away or something. This is kind of a good stress, we can say. But the long-lasting stress is a bit something different because it can negatively affect our mental and also physical health. So yeah, we
I'm
have to be
sorry,
hungry.
Maggie. I'm sorry that we can hear your voice, but we are not really can see your slide share. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I know. I'm looking for it. That's why I just started with
Okay.
so sorry again.
Okay, so if it's anything that you need, I will be here. So if you would like to send the presentation, I can also share instead of yours too.
Yeah, that would be probably the best solutions. So in 1 minute you should have it, and we can start with presentation also together.
Yeah, yeah,
Meanwhile, you can ask me something, or
yeah. I
so.
think you can like having some kind of like question and answer with the participants like where are you from, and also like you can also introduce just a little bit before you start the topic too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure.
Okay.
So, okay, so again, my name is Magdalena or Maggie. I'm from Slovakia. I live in northern part of Slovakia, and actually, my country is really close to the borders of Czech Republic and also Poland. We have also like kind of a point where these all three countries meet near Chata. Chata is my home city and where I live and where I was studying. But lately, I just finished my last year at high school, and I'm going to the university in Aberdeen in Scotland on September. Luckily, it will be like okay for me to travel there and without some quarantine or whatever, so I can be also like I can spend more time with my family before my before I will leave for the university. So it's kind of short introduction. I'm 18. I will be 19 in a month, but still 18. So if anybody wants to ask, yeah. Uh,
Like have you already sent to me?
what is it is sending? Wait.
Yes.
Okay. Um,
So I think everyone might be wondering, like, a kind of what kind of a place that you're living right now in Chester. So you can also tell them something like Chester is a very nice place ever, like a very nice place to visit too. You can also tell them in the meantime.
yeah. Okay, so Chester is just actually like small city when we compare it to, for example, Bratislava, that is our capital city of Slovakia. But I think it is quite nice. We have lots of nature here. You can also it's good for jogging or a bit of hiking. It's really near the Fatra mountains, not Tatra, high Tatras, but Fatra. It's a bit like smaller mountains, but also like when you go by train or by car, high Tatras are also really close. So, and also since we are in the northern part of Slovakia, during winters we have really like lots of snow. Like actually, like we used to have, but since we have also the global warming and so on, the winters aren't so tough anymore. But we have still snow, so yeah, it's nice. And sometimes what's funny, like the first snow I remember appeared in October, and it lasted until in early May. So you can say like half year in snow or kind of bad weather, but then like summers are quite okay, maybe around 30 degrees. And in Chata, as I said, you can do a lot of activities in nature, and we have also like a public swimming pool here when you can go. It's also indoor and outdoor pool there, and also like you can visit some kind of athletic places, uh, and or football matches, but we usually play here just like the city league, not the highest one or something. It's just city league, but many people like going there and watch football. And I don't know what we have like we have like I think three main primary schools here in Chatsa, and then lots of high schools and secondary schools. And what's funny that the majority of them are on one hill, and my school was at the top. So each morning it was kind of also work out to go to school and then back at home because everything in Chatsa is on hills. So you are kind of always going up and down the hill. So yeah, quite quite nice for working out.
Yes, I
And
remember that I was there for just only once, but I feel really exhausted when I was there because like very up way there, like on the hill. It's like hiking. For me, it's like hiking. It's similar because I'm not usually like quite used to hiking, so it's just like quite similar with for me like hiking. Like it's quite exhausting. And how do you? I just wonder how do you guys made up to go to schools like every day? Like for years I was so wonder
yeah,
about that. Yeah.
yeah, like also like for me, I'm kind of living on the opposite side from that school, but it took me only like 20 minutes because I know my shortcuts, through forest, and it was like literally like the path, like walked path by students within the years because everybody from like my part where I'm living here in Chatsa uh, was going to those schools by the same path. So it was it kind of changed into a student path, we can say. But yeah, it was really good shortcuts though, because otherwise it would took me like 40 minutes maybe to go through the whole city. But strangely enough, if you want to go, if you are like really really good walker, you can go from one side of Chatsa to another within 20 or 30 minutes. And so uh, I saw one comment about bicycles or something. So many people like to like cycling here. Also, it's kind of because one of the most famous cyclists in road cyclist in the world is Peter Sagan, and he's from Slovakia and actually from Žilina, and it's kind of 30 kilometers from Chata, like one of
Mhm.
the biggest towns near Chata, and
Yeah.
also one of the big
So
cities in Slovakia.
So when we talk about your country, Slovakia, and some kind of Slovak things ever that the people has to know about outside of the Slovakia is that many people, I think almost Slovakia people love hiking. Like, and I asked someone from Slovakia, and like, how do you usually hike for, like maybe I thought like once or twice a year, she just try to like so surprised to me so
Yeah,
surprised to my questions. No, once a week, not once a year. So like they love hiking so much. Like hiking is not the easy one, like 5 hours 6 hours, working day
yeah,
long. You just take a break for a few minutes. So I think you also have, Maggie, you will also have, some kind of experiences about hiking too.
yeah, sure. Like my whole family likes to go hiking into the mountains. It's kind of a thing like I'm used to it since I was a child, and it's nice. It's also one type of relaxation, just how to clean your head. Also, I included this option in that stress talk that I will have later on, and what is also, as I was mentioning, that we have like quite tough winters here, like we have snow and so on, like meters of snow, especially here in northern part. Um, Many people likes to go skiing. So when it's summer, people usually are up on the mountains and hiking, and then when it's winter, they are skiing there because we have also a lot of skiing resorts when you can go. And I think the high top trails are the most famous here, of course, but there are many places where you can go. And also we have like I think in a ratio for Europe, like one of the country that has the most castles, like both also still like staying in there in nice shape, but also kind of distracted and so on. But yeah, we have lots of castles here, and but unfortunately, lots of them aren't in a good shape because nobody is taking care of them. And if there are like also many that are really nice shape and good form, and many also series and films are shot there. But yeah, if you don't have kind of like private funds or something, the state is not really helping. But let's pray that it will change, because it's kind of a shame to not you know, like not to save some castles that are not distracted yet, but they are abandoned actually. So yeah, you can also go here, but I don't know, back to that hiking. It's kind of like not, of course, not everybody likes to go in, like hiking in mountains and something like that. But it's kind of, I don't know, for me personally, I'm used to it, and also lots of people around me are used to it. So it's kind of a typical hobby, maybe I can say.
Mm-hmm.
And you can also took like really cool shots there, and those photos are just amazing. So yeah.
Yeah, yeah, just okay, wait, yeah, just a moment. We have two participants, okay, come in here. So, I'm trying to share the screens that Maggie just sent to me, and okay, so, in the meantime, okay, I think I got it. Okay, can share screen. Okay. Okay, now we will, I think you guys already view in here. I think it's okay to view SlideShare here. Can you see the slides?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think you can start the presentation.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Um,
Okay, cool.
okay. So let's go back then to the main topic of today's talk, that is stress and how mainly how to cope with it. Okay, we can go. Nice. Um, Now in the next section, we will basically, and I mainly, talk about what the stress is, why it is formed, and also the most important part is how we can cope with it. So then I was kind of already talking about the next slide, but so I can tell it again. So stress is like feeling when you feel encountered or stressful, or you are in stressful situation, you don't know what to do, and your brain kind of starts the fight or flight reactions. And as you can also see, hopefully in small doses, stress is actually beneficial, because it's kind of alert for us. So since we were, I don't know in which kind of human development, that something is threatening us. Okay, so this kind of stress is helpful. But if it's long lasting, it can have negative effects on mental and physical health. So some stressful situations on the next slide, or we can see the picture. So you can have stress from some, for example, when you dispute and have arguments with your family, friends, or partners. Also, you can have time stress, like you are have some kind of deadline, but you don't know if you will able to do something within the deadline. Or also it can be stress caused by some medical issues or health issues. For example, somebody in your family is really sick, or you can be really sick. But also, for example, as such a situation as can, for example, be school or exams and so on and so on. And what's funny also that stress can be caused also by good events and happy events in your family. For example, stressful situation can be a wedding or also like the birth of a new child. So, and also you can see that we distinguish between short and long-term stress. On the next slide, we have like I can say chemical reasons for the whole stress and what is happening in our body, and that is hormone cortisol that is actually excreted into our brains when we are under the stressful situations. And then on the next slide, we have some symptoms that you can have. For example, you can experience headaches, anxiety, or also some belly ache, or for example, fatigue, and also anxiety even. For example, from my experiences, when I'm in a stressful situation, usually I feel like my face is whole red, and I have kind of the higher heartbeat. And also sometimes I feel really like sick and I want to vomit or something like that. But those are like the peaks of stress that I can go or something. On the next slide, you have like what can be like effects on the certain parts of body. For example, diarrhea, or also in like really high, like when you experience a long-term high stressful situations, it can lead to some heart defect diseases or something. But also, for example, it's a easier way to go to have diabetes or something. So it's really not good to have always stress. And on the next slide, just for kind of interesting information, scientists made a survey whether like women or men are like their responses on stress. And as you can also read that women are more likely to develop the physical symptoms than men are. But you know, always with this battle of sexes is like 50-50. So it's you are your own person, and also it's like the way the stress that you are feeling develops is just on your body and on your own, and it's not just something you can write on the table and it fits like 100% perfectly. So that leads me to the most important part, and that it's how you can reduce the stress or cope with it. Uh, as you can also see on the pictures on the next slide, you can, like, the first thing that also kind of helped me, and I tried it personally, was exercise. As I was also like talking about the hiking or going into the nature, but also I started some appointments, and I was going regularly to the gym because of one simple reason. I just wanted to clear my head and just not to think about what will happen next, and am I like do I have a time for, I don't know, my homework, or do I have time to learn for the next exams that I will take, and so on and so on, and how will be like the next day all like going on, and I don't know what next, because yeah, I'm personally that kind of person that sometimes is like thinking 3 days ahead, like what can happen, what can go wrong, what can go right, and how I can like like I don't know, reduce it, or how I can influence it. And this, it's kind of the thing that starts like my stress like inside me, and then I'm not feeling really well. So that's why I started to also like going to the gym and so on and so on. It helped that definitely, but sometimes I was kind of, oh, isn't it also like time consuming and so on and so on, like so I have a time like to do my homework when I'm here at the gym, and is it everything okay? So then I also, what I'm doing to um cope with stress is that I started doing yoga more frequently. I think now it's maybe like 4 years that I'm like practicing yoga on a regular basis, and it also helped me a lot to clear my head, because one, like I had one goal, so for me to cope with my stress, so I didn't want it to end up on some kind of strong medication, or in on the drugs like prescribed by doctors for stress, because it's not good. It's these kind of medications and drugs are really uh like they will help you within like few minutes, but it's not good when you are taking them for a long time, because also kind of addiction will start, and you will be just dependent on that. And when I knew that there is some kind of other ways I can reduce my stress and so on, so I went for it. And luckily I can say that it's like working. It sometimes it's tough, really, like everything has its highs and lows, but I can say that, yeah, like, so that's yoga and hiking are one of the best like ways for me to clear my head. But also like my personal thing is music. Whether I'm listening to it, for example, many times before my exams, I just play some of my favorite songs, and just I did not listen to anybody, because also many people that are in stress can cause like some stressful situation between you, because it's kind of the mass effect when you have like lots of students, for example, in a classroom, and half of them are like chill out, and they don't really care about it, or and so on. But also some others are much like, oh my god, is this good? Is this bad? Do I know it? I don't know it. And then when you start to listen to both sides, it's kind of confusing, and you also start to be in a bit of the stress situation. So that's why I turned into the music way. Like it is still good for me. And for example, when I'm at home and I want to ease my like day or something, I play the piano since I was 5 years old. So I just sit and play some of my favorite songs, or but also some new maybe. So that also helps. I can put it in kind of section that like do your hobby, or what's what you are good at, and what you like doing. For example, you can like draw a picture, or whatever, just some kind of way for you some kind of way for you to relax and just be like good in a good position, clear mind, and with clear mind you can do anything actually, because the stress many times stops you, or many times, for example, when I was like stressed out during exams, I made a lot of mistakes, really like stupid ones. So I kind of learned also the hard way that I have to be chill out and work on it. The other thing that is really helpful is helpful sleep, and like I can say that sometimes I'm not really a good sleeper. Like it happens that I'm really like awake until I don't know 2 a.m. or something. But I said to myself that when I was in the middle of the school year and we have a lot of things to learn at home and to do at home, lots of homework and so on. Like my goal and my limit was 11 p.m. because yeah, I know that it is a long time, but when you're studying like in a foreign language, I had a lot. I had a lot of subjects, like majority of my subjects in English, because I went to grammar school. So when you are learning like 20 pages of biology, like really precise biology in English, and then you have to also learn something else, so it's really time consuming. And our scholar system in Slovakia isn't like made that you don't have to do anything at home. It's more like you have to learn also at home and be at school like present to even know what you have to learn, but it's kind of the old school system, and it has to have some radical changes. But that's not only like on me, it's just my view as a student. So that is kind of the thing that has the government has to do. So yeah, those back to that sleeping. Yeah, it's really important. At least like those 8 hours or 7. Oh, this is like the hour thing, like how many hours you should sleep or something. It's, I think, also personal. Like not everybody has the system to sleep like I don't know, for 9 hours. It's good for them to sleep just 6 hours, and they are ready. They are relaxed. They are ready for the next day to go to work, school, and so on. But what is not also like good is when you are oversleeping, that then comes the effect, kind of the opposite effect, because you, for example, are sleeping for 10 or more hours, then you wake up and you feel like sleepy again, or like you are not in a good mood, and then when the day comes and you don't have many hours left to, to do actually something, you can also develop some kind of stressful situation. So sleep is very good, but it's not good to oversleep, I would say. And
I'm sorry to interrupt, Maggie. I think we have the first session times out, so in 1 minute. So I have already sent the participants via email and also via messenger for the second session, and also I have already sent to you in the first in the email, like first session and second session. So if it is time out, then we can join to the second session. So we are okay.
yeah,
Okay, so let me end this first session here. Okay, so here is the find, and I think we are here in the slides. Is it right, Maggie?
yes, it's the number 9.
Okay.
Okay, so I was in a sleeping section, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I probably I can start, or we will wait like 2 more minutes, or
You can start while we waiting for the others, so that's okay.
okay, okay.
Yeah.
So the next thing also, as you can see, is like talking to other people,
Mhm.
and it also really helps. All, all like the proof of it is also why we are having this talk about stress and how to cope with it, because it's important to share your views and experience, and that you are not alone in this, and everybody has kind of a struggle with stress on different levels, but yes, they have. And what's funny is that I'm helping many of my friends. Like I gave them advice from my side because I knew and I learned the hard way. That's firstly I was because of stress I was not sleeping well, then I was overeating. Then again, I didn't want to eat, and I lost appetite. Luckily, I didn't have any type of like bulimia or anorexia. Like, yeah, luckily. And then also the heart problems. I have like the small heart problem, like connected with it's nothing serious, but it's kind of like inborn with her heartbeat. So that causes like when I'm in stressful situations, or when I'm doing some kind of more physical activity, I'm like breathing a little bit. Like breathing is a little bit hard for me, and I had one experience like pretty bad with it. That once before my math exam, I was kind of in my head, oh yeah, I know this, I know how to count it. I'm feeling kind of confident about this like test, and something. But within like 15 minutes maybe, I started to like breathe like heavily. I was firstly like, oh, yeah, I know I have asthma, and I was like going upstairs, downstairs the whole like day before or something, and also like minutes before the exam. So it's probably this. So I started a bit of slow breathing and so on, but it didn't like end it, and I really couldn't like focus on anything, and I was kind of happy that. I managed it on my own. Like my teacher saw that I'm not really okay, so she didn't give me the test. And I, funnily, then I was pissed off a bit because I really like when I saw the let's say like the test, and I knew that I was able to do it really good. So and solve the problems. So I was also kind of pissed off that I lost the opportunity to have a good mark. But well, of course, I was happy that I could manage like this situation. And then the next day, I went to my cardiologist, and she said that I have to start cope with my stress more, because it can lead to some more like difficult and more problems with health. And then also that I'm a young girl and a young woman, so it's really not good for me at this age, and so on and so on. So yeah, this kind of like talking and so on really also helps. And as I also mentioned, and you can see it in a picture, the slow breathing really helps. Just inhale and exhale and just think about nothing. For example, me and my mom, we came up with the kind of level like you go to level alpha and you don't think about anything else that is stressful. and just focus on you, your mind, and just to really start to believe in yourself and so on. So yeah, I'm also thinking about sorry about my camera. Okay. Uh, so also many like experts and doctors say that a good diet is also essential. As I was mentioning, because of stress, I was a bit overeating and so on. And you can like gain weight and lost weight. When you gain a lot of weight, we know that we have other like as I mentioned in a invitation video, stress is kind of more modern population phenomena, but also other like problem is obesity. It's empirical, and stressful situation can also like lead you to potentially to the obesity or more. So it's really also good to eat balanced diet and eat variety of things. Also depends on your preparations of kind of what kind of type of, whether you are vegetarian or not, you like to eat meat. It depends on you, but you really have to like consume all of those sections of healthy diet that are good for your body. And probably the last method or thing I'm using is magnesium. I'm taking magnesium also because of my like my it was prescribed to me by my cardiologist, but also it is widely known that magnesium is it's a dietary supplement. It's not a drug, it's not a medication, and it really helps you to kind of relieve the stress inside you and just be more calmer and so on. And also, it's, for example, good for muscle stress also when you go here, when we go hiking or something, and you feel really like tired, or also it's good to prepare like water with magnesium and vitamin C in it, and it helps you like gain the energy for also your body and muscles. But this magnesium also helps with stress. Okay, so the last segment, I I'm to know now what I can say more about how to cope with stress or something. On the last slide, I have kind of a message for you. Uh, so I will wait until it's uh, okay. So although on the last uh, yeah, although it can sometimes seem difficult to find a way to cope with stress, it is important to find all the ways to manage it. Your health depends on it, and how you manage stress, and also how to deal with it. So yeah, if you have struggles with stress, I hope that I've kind of helped you a bit, because yeah, I'm not any type of expert or something, like I'm not a doctor or this kind of things, but as a person that I was felt stress since an early age, because it started with my piano lessons, and I was kind of afraid to, like, when we had the concert, and I didn't want it to make a mistake, so because I did not want to disappoint my parents and my close ones that were there. So that was kind of the first indication for me, like how the my stress way kind of started. And then when I was in primary school, it kind of was always like connected to with school and exams. I really like learning, and like learning new things about a variety of subjects and so on and so on. But yeah, one thing that I will, I definitely am not enjoying art tests at schools, but yeah, we have to have them. It's good to have them, but yeah, this kind of my head was still through doing those catastrophic scenarios about what can happen, like bad mark or something, or I won't be able to answer certain questions, and it kind of funny. What's funny, it kind of evolved also in a thing that I was able to write exams for straight A's, or in our scholar system we have marks like from 1 to 5, and 1 is excellent, so like all the ones. And also I was able to write like the good test, or something like that, within stress. And then it started to be like really bad because I was constantly nervous at a young age. So when I went to the high schools, I just was in my mind that I have to change it because this is not good. And luckily, like the strength of mind is really strong, I can say. Yeah. So it's like really wonderful what you can do with your mind. You can kind of lead yourself into the stressful situation because of your mind, but also you can find ways how to go from this stressful situation also with your mind. And it's also good when somebody helps you, but I think that I like also, of course, many people, as I stated like earlier today, many people have to seek like drugs and medications to be calm. But I know that there are ways, and luckily also you now, that there are ways how to cope with it and not be not have the addiction for some strong drugs, because it's not really good. So I think that will be the end from my side, and now you have the place to ask me some questions in like topics that you are interested.
So
Or
before we start before we start the yes, Odie, please. We start the question and answer sessions. I would like to share how like my way of managing the stress. So if something stressed me out really like terribly, I just sing out loud, like without caring my neighbors. So like unlucky and unfortunately for my neighbors, they have to listen my voice like almost every day because I just sing out out loud every time whenever I feel stressed something. So you can also try this the way out if you feel stressed in this COVID-19 situation. But please close your windows. I'm just kidding. Okay, so Odie, you can also ask the questions now. Thank you.
Uh, Hello everyone. Topitains, right? Topitains. Good afternoon for Maggie, and Kongtonyava to my friends, Burmese friends. First, I'm so sorry because I can't strike up conversation with you in face to face because something wrong with my camera, so I can um, give my face. Okay. Before I kick off to ask Maggie questions, uh, let me to share my idea about what is stress, and stress what which happened in my country, because I think we have a three different type of stress between Western or Europe and also with Asian people. Even for Asian people, we can divide this type of stress. Like what happened in Korea and Japan is totally different with what happened in Southeast Asia country. Because both of a country in Japan and Koreans, they are really competitive. So especially for educations and also about the job. So it can trigger stress for in terms of the economy. I mean, but conversely, it's totally different for the trigger in Southeast Asia country, especially in Indonesia, because if we talk about economy in here, we doesn't care about we don't care about if whether we can eat tomorrow or now, because we believe that if we don't have anything, foods or something, maybe our neighbor will help and give some foods. So we don't care about economy, or we don't have any sense in our pocket. But what is the trigger? What is the big trigger can happen in Indonesia? Actually, because uh, we are too friendly with foreigner, sometimes we um, have some trouble, like um, we think too much about something disrupt with our mind, and then uh, but we can reveal what our problem in our mind to our um, opponent let's say opponent communicator. I mean, like, you know, I and Jimon, if I have problem with Jimon, and then I can tell about what my problem with Jimon. And for Indonesian people, we have to keep it in my mind, and that can trigger stress, especially for ourselves. And the second one, if we talk about a feeling, like we have some feeling to a girl, for instance, like if I have some of feeling with other girls, and then the girls reject my feeling, it can be give some hits to my mental and physically indirectly, and it can also trigger stress. Then it really happen in Indonesia. It's really happened in Indonesia. Yeah. And how we can make a deal with to overcome that kind of stress, mostly because Indonesia people, they have some kind of believer or religion. Mostly in Indonesia, we are Muslim, and how to we overcome that kind of stress? We believe that if we pray with the card, or maybe in Buddhist, it's kind of big meditations. You know, uh, I ever read a kind of journal how meditation can decompress your stress level of stress, and that's also applicable in my country. And yeah, so my question is to Maggie, uh, which which bigger cause is a counter to European people like Slovakia, especially for stress, and how to European overcome that kind of stress?
Uh, okay, thank you for your question, and also I think that you make some really good points in what you were saying before. So in Europe, I also we have also kind of inside tensions between countries, or maybe in the whole like European Union and so on. Maybe you know about that Brexit thing, and also
Mm-hmm.
now that we have like the problems with virus, it
Mm-hmm.
was also like tough for probably every country in the world, and it
Mm-hmm.
still is. For example, now as we are standing as Slovakia and so on, we were quite lucky because we have like really low cases, and since the first cases appeared here and also before, we kind of closed our whole country, and we started with like wearing masks on our heads and so on, and with quarantining also at homes. And it was also kind of stressful here because lots of like companies had to fire people because of the economical situation that came with coronavirus problem. And also what was funny that actually our governments were changing here in Slovakia because at the end of February we had elections for our parliament, and kind of our long-term government changed into then opposition now government and leading parties, coalition of four leading parties here, and then they kind of found out that we were no like we weren't prepared by any means for this kind of situation that came with coronavirus. We had no like mask and things for hospitals all around our country and so on. So everybody started to sew their own homemade mask, and they were sending them to hospitals because our kind of storage for things like the national and the whole the storage of whole country was like empty. And we had also lots of problems here with corruption, and we still have because of the last government we had here, and it kind of culminated to 2 years ago when like the investigative journalist and his fiance were killed by and like this the marks and so on are leading towards the old government, or mainly towards the leading party, like old leading party, and also to kind of Slovak part of Italian mafia. So
Okay.
welcome to Slovakia, where we have all these kind of problems. Yeah, such a nice country with such
Yeah,
a
yeah, yeah.
how can I say peace, like we young people especially like me for example are really like pissed off the situation because what you can say. So um, I think many people around the world know Slovakia maybe more from Czechoslovakia,
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
the old like when we were together with Czechs. We are not anymore, of course. It will be around 40 years soon, maybe. Yes, this kind of in 1993 we separated, and uh, so since then we had kind of problems with our
Okay.
government and so on because people, people were like the majority were used to, okay, we are in a good place, we can eat, we can sleep somewhere, we have homes, so we really don't care. So then there was like one bad government like in the 90s where people were kind of shot in the streets and so on. Yeah. And then it changed it. It's the change. We went to, we became part of the European Union. We accept
Uh,
euro as our currency, and
yeah.
it was like everything good. And then this other party that caused probably the death of the journalist went into the power. And firstly, it was all good, and also like yeah, the things seemed really good. But what happened? Our country is basically like the whole economy is probably based just only on like car industry and factories that are producing cars, and are really like, for example, local crafts are they're like disappearing. And now also today in, so we are in 2020, there is a trend of reappearance or renaissance of these like handmade products, but it was really a long period of just companies and especially car industry here. So when the crisis came, it was really tough, but we
Mm.
survived. And then came a system, like social system that like for example trains became free for students of
Mm.
primary and high schools and so on. And also like for the old people, they wanted like the government like, yeah, we are helping
Uh,
students, we are helping to old people. But actually the parts that suffered the most were scholar system and health system,
mhm,
unfortunately. And
mhm,
this was shown here when today and like when the whole coronavirus situation started here in Europe.
mm, mm,
And for example, what was funny, everybody knew that when the situation in Italy became really bad,
mm.
the first like the trips to Italy started to be cheap. And what's like people in Slovakia did?
Really?
Let's go to Italy, to Rome and to Vatican, like good trip, really cheap. Let's go. And
Wow.
we, yeah, and also like here in the northern part, especially.
Mhm,
And also, for example, my classmate went to Italy, and then when she came back, we were like afraid, and we told our teacher that we liked her and everything. It's like she's good and everything. But please,
mm,
can you tell her that she should stay at home at least for 2 weeks? Because we were really afraid. And then she was like, yeah, like school told her that she should stay at home. And
mhm,
within those 2 weeks, we were all like already at home, like few days after she came back to Slovakia,
mhm,
pardon me, from Italy. So yeah, and then like cases started to what can I say, appear, but everything was slow, and our government at that time, old one still, like, yeah, we have like 300 tests per day and just like two more cases, and we were like, this is not good. Wait
Yeah,
a
yeah,
minute.
yeah, yeah.
And
That,
since we started to test more with also when the new government came, like it was like 1,000 tests were made, and
mm,
60 people like
wow.
from day to day like appeared, but it was
Uh,
still good. Like really, like situation here in Slovakia was handled really well in that case.
mm,
But then, when you have those special houses for old people, where they can live and they are like cared, it is cared for them by nurses and so on, into one this kind of house, like someone like all these facilities were shut it down because oh there is like no one think that old people are one of the most like that kind of part of the population that is in the most like danger or something. So yeah, really like old people are kind of still shut it down in their homes, and they have special hours for
mm,
groceries shopping and so on.
mm,
But these houses were like shut down also with like nurses and so on, and closed, and yeah, and some like new like two patients appeared in one house, this kind of house, and then all the old patients there caught the coronavirus, and unfortunately, 98% people old that are dead in Slovakia are from this house. So, and the whole like stress to more, because also more people wants to ask some questions, and I'm just kind of lost in this. How Europeans go with stress? I think it depends on which part of Europe you are living. I'm from Central Europe, so here people are still like, you have generations that were living and were born in Soviet Union and are kind of used to bad treatment or something, as I said before, especially here in Slovakia. But the stressful situations are more about like their living, I think, as I can see in my like environment where I'm living and so on, and money. The money are that's like the big question and kind of everything that like reason behind everything here, I think. But so I had the opportunity to travel 3 times into the United Kingdom, and it was totally different mentality. Like each nation in Europe is different mentality, and it is about something else. Like the modern Europe, like I think everyone knows around the world is that part around Britain, France, and these kind of countries. But when you go more closer to Russia, let's say, and to old Soviet countries, it's so something totally different. So also this causes a lot of tensions. And back to Slovakia, unfortunately, we have a fascist party in our parliament, and lots of young people like me are like sympathizers with these like neo-Nazis parties here in Slovakia, unfortunately. And it's the result of that previous government, unfortunately, because people just lost belief and went to this opposite kind of way. So you have kind of liberals here in Slovakia, mainly young people, then conservative, almost everybody, and then unfortunately also some kind of neo-Nazis or fascists here. So yeah. So and sorry, so I would cut there here. I hope that you learned something new and we can go for next questions also from other people.
Yeah, so there will be next question from Odie too. So before we go to that part, I just would like to ask other participants if you have any other questions from Burmese participants about anything else that she has talked about or that she hasn't mentioned about. So we welcome.
Thanks.
And if you
I'm sorry.
don't yeah, if they don't have it, and we can continue the second question then. So we still have left 6 minutes so far, but don't worry, I still have prepared for the test session for sure. So and within 3 minutes, within 1 minute, it will arrive to your messenger or your email. So don't worry, you can continue the question answer a question part. So I hope other participants will have the time to discuss it. Okay, thank you. You can continue your question part, Odie. Yes.
Also,
Odie,
if
you okay.
also if you want to ask me
Okay.
after this session personally, you I think Himon shared my Facebook, but I'm more active on the Instagram, so you can choose one of these ways
Ah,
and maybe to ask later also like when you will be more interested in something, but we can continue now.
okay. Okay. So oh, sure. So I think I have already shared the her contact and also IG account that you can contact, which is really active, and you can ask any further questions about Europe and also about Slovakia and other stuff. I think she's welcome all types of questions, and I think Moshe is in raise hand. Um, I'm not sure. Okay, it's please feel free, and I will also share to you guys about this recording later because I will have to take time to watch first recording and the second recording. And there is a good news that I will also be post a video, like very brief video of Slovakia, like the country file that I also upload last weekend about Austria and also England. So yeah, So you can also check out our page and also our YouTube channel. I will also send you the link and also to our guest speaker too. And thank you very much for being here with this weekend. And thank you. We also appreciate for your time. And I want to say thank you to our participants who joined with perseverance till the second session. And I hope you guys, you guys got something very useful, something special from this event. There are some participants that couldn't join, like 3 participants because they are sick, and they tell me they couldn't join, and they are sorry to our guest speaker. So yes, sending the news to you, Maggie. So thank you very much, and we will end our session here. And I will send you the event feedback right after this event, and please try to fill this and to organize our next event better. So I will
Okay,
also
so
upload. Mhm.
oh, sorry that I'm interrupting you, but I would also thank you for this opportunity, and also thanks all the listeners that were able to join. And I hope that you learned something. And again, if you have more questions, like you want to discuss with me, just contact me, and I will be really happy to answer them when I have time, of course, and you will have time.
So if it is okay that I can share your email address to them too, is it okay?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so I will also send them to your email address and also the recording and also the video of the Slovak country brief bio after we have after we are ready about the video. So if we are ready, we can send you everything that we have concerned with this event. So thank you very much, guys, and see you next week. Bye bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye
Thank you
bye.
very much.
Ďakujem. Ďakujem.
Není zač. Ahojte.
Ahojte. Yeah.